Hello, what's up everyone? My name is Axeltoss. Welcome back to another video blog where I will talk and you hopefully might listen and I will give my perspective on things hopefully relevant to you. Specifically this one I want to talk about MLG that happened about a week and a half ago. This is a little bit later of a vlog than I wanted it to be, but ran into some stuff so I couldn't get it out as fast as I wanted. I had everything planned out. I had like a list of things I wanted to talk about. But I don't have that with me. But I had the opportunity to record something, so I'm going to do it really quick. So yeah, going based on memory here as far as what I want to talk about. So before I ramble too much, MLG. Cool, yeah. So I commentated the event for StarCraft 2 specifically. I also did some microphone work. Trap ended up winning the thing. Polt got second. Violet got third. And I just wanted to talk about the event, how it went for me, reflections as a whole, and maybe give you some insight on what my weekend's like or some perspective that you might not have gotten before. So that being said, I had a lot of fun. The best thing about events for me is just reconnecting with people and seeing people you haven't seen in a long time and just having conversation and whatnot. So that was a blast. I got to see a lot of people I haven't seen before, had a lot of great conversations. There's so many awesome and spirited people in the esports community because it's a new thing. So if you've been around for as long as I have, and I haven't even been around that long, like maybe 4 years, you really create lasting friendships that last for a very long time because you're all on a team trying to help push something forward and make amazing things happen. So anyway, that's my favorite part about MLGs probably, and it was a super blast to be able to reconnect with friends and stuff. It was awesome. So that being said, that's like kind of the part of the weekend you guys don't get to see or experience as much, which is why I would suggest going to live events. Like seriously, if you're saving up for a trip or a vacation or something, that's something that is probably worth saving up for. Or check out your local area. A lot of you who are watching this right now, there's something happening within 10 miles of you within the next month. So maybe go find something like that, and then you can just hang out with people and have fun. So that's the part of the MLGs are part of tournaments that viewers don't necessarily see a lot of, which makes them amazing, which is why you should go to a live event. Yeah, end of that. But anyway, MLG, okay, let's get focused a bit. As far as what I want to talk about, so weekend tournament. Yeah, weekend tournament, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Obviously, there was a lot of discussion on format or the games that were shown. It was pretty static. I mean, I'm going to have my own opinions on how the schedule probably should have been run if we have an infinite amount of time. But, something that's really important to understand, I don't like making excuses or anything, but it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday tournament. So there's not a lot of flexibility there. Like, in my eyes, like a dream scenario would be 7 days for a tournament where, you have all the open bracket and pool play in days 1 through 5, and then the weekend is just the hypest thing ever, Saturday and Sunday, where it's like these are the best of the best. They work so hard throughout the week to get to this point. That obviously that would be the ideal situation. So because I know a lot of people were saying how we weren't showing some of the matches, and oh my God, that hurt my heart actually because some of the matches were amazing. After we were done on Friday, they were still playing till like 4 a.m. or something. And I went back and watched, and some amazing games were happening. So, a lot of it is tiredness from the crew. Like, there's an amazing crew at MLG that's working super hard. Like, it's such so much work on a weekend. And especially for people like me, Axeltoss, you're a caster. You don't work hard. Yeah, we kind of do. We work really hard. We wake up at like 8 a.m., maybe even earlier than that. And then we're working literally until like 2 p.m. each day. 2 a.m. each day. So it can definitely get a bit strenuous. But as far as that's concerned, like, again, I don't like making excuses, but that's, people are watching and they're thinking, oh, we should have every game casted, stuff like that. And you should to a certain extent. But, I guess sheer limits on manpower is the thing there. So we definitely want to get as much content as humanly possible to you guys. But sometimes it's just way too difficult. But that's something, again, that MLG will be obviously examining moving forward, making sure, obviously, like, I don't even need to say that because you guys should know that businesses these days, when they hear feedback from the community, they listen and they change, or they try to make stuff better. Because who wants to make a bad product? Who wants to make a product where people yell at them and then they're not succeeding in their initial mission of presenting awesome games or something like that, or whatever that mission is. MLG is not out to get you. Businesses aren't out to get you, I hope, at least. So yeah, that's a bit of perspective on the matches side of things. Again, I wanted to see them all, but there's only so much time in the day. So moving on a little bit, what else was a big topic of the weekend? What was a big discussion point? I mean, there's like a community tangent I want to go on a bit here, I think. And it pains me a little bit because, I started on the community, like, when I first got into esports in StarCraft 2, I was the guy in the Blizzard forums, be like, hey guys, what's your favorite strategy? Or have y'all seen this YouTube video? I think it's pretty cool. Maybe we should try it out. The first time I casted StarCraft was I made a post on the Blizzard forums, and I'm like, hey guys, I wanna try out my microphone, and I want to try out this commentating thing. I think I might be good at it. Can you come check it out? And I got like 10 people watching, or 10 people playing, and like 10 people watching, and all the people watching were the people who were playing. But it was a great experience, and it was fun. But the point is, that's kind of where I started, like in the community. And I kind of evolved, I guess, in that sense, where I went from Blizzard forums to Team Liquid, dabbled in Reddit, and I tried to have some sort of presence in all the communities to keep a finger on what people were thinking and talking about, and to also interact with as many people as possible. So as far as the community standpoint, oh man, it pains me sometimes. My first instinct is to go to Reddit, I guess, because it's one of the major hubs in the world, internet-wise, and there's a StarCraft forum there that has over 160,000 subscribers. Is that right? I think that should be right. Team Liquid, I think, is more for the guys who have been there a long time, and the more dedicated souls, I guess, to StarCraft 2, which is fine, which is great, in that whole community. I think Reddit is a bit of both, as far as there's a lot of people there who are newish, and there's a lot of people there who've been there for a while, and there's a lot of people there who, how do I want to say this? Who just don't care about what they say or what people think or what other people say. I mean, it is the internet, it is anonymous, and you can say anything, and it's whatever. I mean, I think there's, like, again, I don't want to get too deep into philosophy, but I think we as human beings all have some sort of a personal responsibility to compose ourselves in a sane manner when we do stuff on the internet. But there are some people who are just like, whatever, and they do, I don't know, you can never tell if they're serious or whatever. But anyway, what I'm getting to, sorry to kind of do such a big prologue, and there's a lot of tangents I could go there potentially, but not today. Whew. So Reddit StarCraft. Don't want to talk too much about it. I do want to talk about the feedback, though, that was happening during the event. I'm a guy who my weekend is busy enough, and I'm thinking about so many things, and I'm taking notes, I'm watching the games, I'm talking to people in the audience, I'm trying to remember particular obligations. So I'm a guy who doesn't necessarily read a lot of the forum stuff during the actual event or before or after, but from what I gathered a sense of are there three main things? Again, I mapped this all out earlier, and I'm just trying to remember. I think there are three main things happening there as far as Axeltoss, get to the point. I'm getting there. I'm doing it, I promise. I know I'm long-winded, but it's worth it in the end, hopefully. A lot of animosity and aggressiveness regarding MLG as a whole, even before the weekend started. And that's just like so unfair on so many levels. I don't really know where to start with that necessarily. But basically what I mean is just there's a lot of like negative energy, or a lot of, you could say, oh, it's just Reddit, it's just Team Liquid. But this is what people see when they go check out our StarCraft. Or when someone from League of Legends or Call of Duty goes to check it out, this is what they see, right? That's how you have to think about it. Or if you have parents who are thinking about getting interested in it, and then they go to the forum or something, they're going to see, our StarCraft is going to be what they see. So, I feel this is definitely what we're talking about. But there's that negative energy, or that, the perceptions that, oh, MLG is terrible, MLG is bad, this is going to be a horrible event. Like, I feel like that stuff was happening, and I feel like going into the weekend, there was a sense of, I don't know what the word is exactly, but just the general mentality was not great, I guess. And that's just like so unfair to everyone involved with the weekend, because there's so many people working so hard to put the event on, and just think about how the event it didn't have to happen in the first place, and then it does. So when it doesn't have to happen in the first place, and then it does by some miracle or whatever, like that is amazing in and of itself, that StarCraft 2 is happening at MLG on a weekend. And that is that is worth being thankful for, I guess. And then you go and then I go and look at the forums and Reddit and Team Liquid or whatever, and I see just a bunch of negativity and negative posts and stuff. It's like, I mean, I can't remember exactly what the thread said, but it was just, I don't know, not a lot of hype leading into it. You know, there are reasons here and there, but overall that sense was definitely there, the negative sense. And, you know, a lot of people are going to have different opinions on this, as far as, oh, they dropped MLG at first, or they dropped StarCraft 2 at first, we shouldn't support them, or, oh, DreamHack is better, you know, we're European, we have European pride, you know, that's in America, or, you know, there's all these different things here and there. At the end of the day, the mentality about the event on the forums that was being reflected out to the world was not amazing that weekend. And I'm not blaming anyone necessarily, it's just something to be aware of, I guess. So if you're posting on the forums or something, and you're, wow, 11 minutes, 20 seconds, that's okay. And you're, you know, thinking about what to say or something, it's like, just keep that in mind, right? We have other people coming in, seeing what it's about, and if they just see negativity, it's like, that's not what you want to reflect about what this is, what we have in this community. So a second thing was feedback during the event. And a part of me wants to get into a discussion about casting and stuff, but it's so hard to get a good sense of not only what people want, but what people think as far as casters are concerned, because you're going to have completely different opinions across the board. There are going to be people watching this video and be like, Axeltoss, what are you talking about? You know, the casting was amazing, blah, 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 blah. And you know, I break it down in percentages. That's probably 80% of people, I think, probably. And again, there's a lot of analysis that probably goes into this, and there's a lot of math probably too. But back to the reflection point as far as the community is concerned, is the stuff that matters, I guess, to me as a caster, maybe, is the stuff I see on Reddit and Team Liquid. Because I'm, you know, people are going to say, don't read it. And it's like, I hear that, but I want to get better as a person and as a caster. And because I want to provide a good product to the community, to you guys who are watching. And in order to present the best product possible, I need to get that feedback so I can make sure I'm doing the right things. And I'm a guy who, I'm going to care about everybody's opinion. And people might call me stupid because of that, but I guess that's just who I am, maybe. Like, I like hearing opinions, because if one person has a particular opinion, then if I can mildly adjust the way I do things to cater to that, then it's better. And I also hold the philosophy that if one person is thinking that, probably a few more people are too. So it's worth looking at every single comment. So as far as feedback during the event on the community sites, on the Reddit, on the Team Liquid or whatever, the casting stuff, I try not to look at it that much, because again, I'm thinking a lot, and I don't want to necessarily have to think about that stuff while I'm casting, because it will affect my performance, because I read it and I think about it, and that's just not a good recipe when it's negative stuff. But overall, again, just that trend of that negativity resonating throughout. And again, a lot of you are going to be like, oh, no, we're positive, man. And that's great. Good for you guys. But there is still that sense. And I know, me saying something might not do anything at all, but there's a chance it will, so I might as well say it. There is a percentage that's always going to be negative on the sites. And it's a little bit frustrating, because I'm not going to name any names, but some of the casters at the event were affected by it. Or at least one was, and I could tell, and it's tough. Like I've been there, I'm working an event and I'm having a great time. I'm on camera, I'm on the stage, I'm trying to do a great job, positive attitude. And then I go and start reading stuff, and it's just like, it's like belittling stuff. It hits you hard. And when you're, because we're people, right? I'm a person. Like, I read something and I'm thinking, okay, that person is thinking that about me. And at the end of the day, it's like either A, just don't read it, or B, do the approach that I'm about to tell you. So reading this stuff, and during the event, it definitely affects you. And I'm not, my conclusion is not to be like, oh, be more positive, but again, just kind of being aware of how negatively that can impact things. Like, you might be about to type something and not consider it for a second, but that something has the chance to resonate in a negative way, right? If a parent decides to read it, or if a caster decides to read it, it will affect us. And if you don't care, then I guess that's fine. Live your life, whatever. But I hope to see more of that stuff go away. So to kind of get to a different point here a little bit, a part of me wants to kind of discuss my mentality and my feedback, or the way I go through feedback. And I know it's like 16 minutes long, and if you stop watching, it's fine. It's okay. You're not even seeing this, but if you're still here, you're awesome too. Hopefully this isn't too boring. You can always pause and come back. But it's stuff on my mind, so I want to talk about it. Yeah. Future ones might be longer, might not be as long. But anyway. So yeah, I said I started in the community, and I still consider myself a part of the community. I've always done community stuff. I love community stuff, like grassroots stuff. Oh, it's the best. I try to help as much as possible. Charity initiatives too. Love that stuff because it feels real. It feels so real and fresh, and you're seeing people come together and make awesome things happen, which is honestly one of the best things in the world. That's how I got into commentating and StarCraft 2 in the first place in Texas, was helping with Lone Star Clash 1 and stuff like that. Like, just the community stuff is fantastic. So I love the community, and I don't like seeing the community going in a direction that is not positive for the scene, and it happens. So to kind of, again, to wrap, I know this is a very long-winded point, but hopefully you're staying with me. So yeah, the community. After events, I will go and I will search my name, and I will look for feedback on Team Liquid and on our StarCraft, because that's who I am. I like seeing opinions, and I have to have mental strategies because some bad things are said, some negative things are said, and if I let it affect me, it's not good. Like, I'll be sad, and I don't want to be sad. I want to be happy. It'll affect my job if I'm on camera and then I read something. It affects me. Like, I was casting with Sean, and it was the finals on Saturday. Yes, I'm glad I brought this up because I wanted to talk about it. It was Saturday night. Everyone's delirious. Everyone's tired. The crowd is freaking awesome because they're there. They know we're tired, and they're getting into it. And we had a great time. Sean was casting, telling jokes. I was just trying to really hype up the crowd and be a little bit exuberant and exaggerated, which was a lot of fun. And then I see Sean looking at Reddit, and I see a thread that says, "Is Axeltoss on drugs, or is he just a terrible person?" And I'm like, what? I see that, and in my mind, like, again, I read it, and you can't really unread it. And this is when I'm on the stage and stuff. And again, this gets back to the point of me, it affected me. So, I read this, and I'm like, it just confuses me, right? Because I'm like trying to do my job, and I see the crowd having a fantastic time, and I'm having a great time. I'm full of energy, and then I read that, and I'm like, it just doesn't connect in my head, right? So, that's a little battle I'm dealing with as I'm casting. But to get back to the point, I'll go back and read on Reddit and Team Liquid. I'll go back and read, the feedback, and try to really identify, okay, what's going on here? What am I doing wrong? What can I do to improve myself based on what I'm reading? And I've come to the conclusion that there's a lot of good people on the internet. There's a lot of good people in the world, for sure. And these people, and a lot of people have said this before, and a lot of this is like, oh yeah, we know this, but just if people haven't heard this before, they need to hear it. As far as the internet is concerned, there is if you break it into percentages, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I guess I'll re-say it. Vocal minority, right? So the vocal minority are the people who go on the internet, who they will type feedback, but they're not necessarily a representation of all the people watching. So that's the first thing I consider when I'm reading through threads and whatnot. The silent majority, they don't, obviously for a reason, they don't say the silent majority. They don't say things. There's so many of them that their feedback doesn't really get through the channels as well, I guess, because they're silent, right? They're the people who are freaking awesome. They're in the crowd. They're watching at home. They're watching this video, and they're like, Axeltoss, you are stupid. because you read this stuff, or because you acknowledge it, or because you're even talking about it. These are the really awesome people who watch and enjoy it, have a good time, crack open a beer, check out StarCraft, so on and so forth. That's probably the silent majority. Generally approve of things, or are very good-hearted as far as wanting to see things improve, or they see esports, they see the potential, and they stay behind it, and they stay committed, kind of a thing. So moving on to the vocal minority, these are the guys who are on the Team Liquids, on the Reddits, and it's always tricky. How do you really establish a true opinion if you're only reading from the vocal minority? Because you never know where this minority is coming from, or what. Because there are sections of minorities where, and a really quick example is like United States America primetime on Reddit. That's going to be the vocal minority of America, right? Primetime in Europe on the internet, right? Which would be middle of the night for Americans, typically. That's going to be the vocal minority of the Europeans. So, again, not really relevant, but the point is, there's a lot of different sections of vocal minority presence, I guess, if that makes any sense. As far as StarCraft 2 and esports is concerned, there are some minorities that are just angry people. And I thought about just ripping into all these people because it really touches a nerve with me. When I'm trying my hardest and I'm casting and I'm doing my thing. And not only that, when I see my friends casting and pouring their hearts out into a stream, or if I see director, producer, if I see the people behind the scenes working as hard as they do, and then I go and I read stuff that I read this terrible stuff about them. It hits a nerve, and it makes, I don't get angry that much, but it makes me a little angry. And I feel like I'm in a position to potentially help that a little bit, but I don't like seeing that stuff. I really don't on Team Liquid and Reddit. And then I especially don't like seeing my friends go and read it and then establish their own opinions. And this is something I've dealt with in the past, and I've talked about this, but constantly reminding and re-saying stuff I think is fine, because it helps me get my point true. I've developed strategies for myself so I don't go insane of reading this stuff and taking it with a grain of salt, or pushing it away as the vocal minority and not necessarily acknowledging it. Something I really like to do, though, is put a positive twist on everything I read. So I'll read this negative stuff, and I'll try to think of a way to positively twist it in my head, because I know I'm going to remember it. I know I'm going to think about it. And if I think about it, I don't want to feel sad, so I have to put a positive twist on it so I feel happy when I think about it, right? Wow, this is getting very long. I apologize. I guess I'll conclude things a bit because this is getting way too long. I know, I just started talking and then I never stopped. So I actually went back and edited some stuff. That's why there's a bit of a cut in the video. Just wanted to conclude things. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really enjoyed MLG. I had a lot of fun. I hope it's at more events, StarCraft 2 at least. And I want to leave you guys with a couple messages. First, to you people who are just genuine and awesome, thank you so much for sticking around and watching and supporting. And I would suggest maybe going to the forums here and there and providing feedback or input, because I think that having community hubs is very important, but I don't want to see it negatively affecting the scene. And right now I think a lot of the StarCraft 2 community hubs are negatively affecting the scene. So if there's more genuine people, more good people actually participating in reasonable discussion and supporting each other on topics you want to talk about, making it a friendly place, friendly atmosphere, I think that's a good thing for sure. And obviously there's a lot of negativity out there and a lot of stuff that needs to be downvoted, so it's better to have more genuine people doing that stuff so that we can keep the positive stuff in the light, so that when people come in and watch and see StarCraft 2 and see what's going on here and see what we've been working hard on, they can see actually what it is and actually who we are, right? Isn't that the most natural thing to want, is people to see you how you are, kind of a thing? And I feel like as a community we have a responsibility to expose ourselves, or to reflect ourselves as a great place to be, so more people join, so people are less intimidated. So yeah, be helpful, be nice, be awesome on the internet, on the forums, and then things will improve, I think. I hope. But yeah, now I'm rambling too much again. In conclusion, thanks for watching. This has been Axeltoss. If you want to see anything in particular on the next vlog, if you just don't want me to vlog at all, leave a comment down below. Say anything you want. I can handle it. I can deal with it. And I had a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun for me. Go away, fly. This is a lot of fun for me. I like just reflecting sometimes and talking, maybe too much, but that's okay because I need to do that sometimes. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. And any feedback, or if you want to follow or tweet at me or whatever, feel free. And then participate in the community sites, but positively. Yeah. All right, guys. See you next time.